It happens around airports, near roads, schools, or parks. It's called eminent domain. That's when the government seizes private property and converts it for public use. But some of these eminent domain takeovers were racially motivated during segregation as early as the 1920s. We're talking about Black-owned beaches and even entire neighborhoods that were taken over to potentially build schools and parks, but in the end displaced minority families. News Center 7's Kirsten Garris explains the federal efforts to reverse some of those decisions and preserve these historic sites.
These beaches had no signs that read white only, that read colored only. The only sign I remember seeing was welcome.
This is how some remember Carr's Beach in Annapolis, Maryland. It was a safe haven for African Americans in the 1950s and 60s. A place that was more than just a summer destination.
They had an opportunity to come here and be free. We could be ourselves.
Historians say Carr's Beach shut down in the 1970s as desegregation opened up previously white-owned venues. But other Black-owned venues, properties, and even neighborhoods were taken away by the government.
They use eminent domain as a means of basically pushing around populations.
Nathan Connolly is a historian at Johns Hopkins University. He says the process of eminent domain was used to seize Black property and remove those residents with the intentions of building public projects like schools or parks. But often those lots remained empty.
There would sometimes be too many schoolhouses or too many parks that were whites only. And that part of it was just basically a buffer between the white residents and the Black population.
Connolly says the practice still continues. He says now it's known as gentrification.
Gentrification, or the possibility of gentrification, is now reason enough to deploy eminent domain laws.
All right, the signing has been completed.
But there are some efforts to preserve these sites. Now, Carr's Beach is becoming a city park, using local, state, and federal dollars.
Commencement is not the end, commencement is the beginning.
Some members of Congress are allocating money targeted for these kinds of projects. But as gentrification continues, Connolly wants more developers to include community members in the process for new projects.
That there are guarantees for those who are displaced being able to return to those communities.
Back in Annapolis, Carr's Beach isn't what it used to be, but now there's hope for what it can be.
Young people can travel the 7 seas of this world. They can plumb the depths of the ocean from this latitude and longitude, and they can reach the heavens from here as well.
In Maryland, Kirsten Garris, News Center 7.